Today we are moving along in our crystal stone mineral series, and we're talking about different options for cleansing, clearing your stones and your crystals. And some crystals like to be cleansed in particular ways and don't like others. So we're going to go through a number of options that you have to cleanse and clear your stones and your crystals, and we recommend that this is done on quite a regular basis. And most frequently, if you have any stones that are the color black, and then there's also other stones that really need a good cleansing and clearing on a very frequent basis. Obviously, the more you use your crystals and your stones, the more they also need cleansing and clearing. So I'm going to go through some of the common methods, and we'll start with the first one being water. And that can be rinsing your crystal or leaving it in a bowl of water for some time, placing it in a natural source like a river or an ocean, ensuring that they don't get washed away unless that is what the crystal needs and wants. And it's quite quick, it can be quite effective, and there's also a number of stones that do not like this method, especially if they are soft stones and they're not water safe. So they can tend to dissolve or rust if they're quite soft. There's things like selenite and malachite. They should be kept well away from water. Don't put those stones in water. Another method is the smoke cleansing, and that can be done with using incense or herbs. And you would simply pass the crystal through the smoke, and you could do that for a little while, for a few moments or so. This is probably considered to be one of the most gentle ways to cleanse and clear crystals, and definitely one of the more safer ways to do so, that's not going to deteriorate the foundation and the energy of the crystal. Sometimes it's not strong enough for the crystal. That's why people don't always rely on it as a method. Now, you can also use the sunlight, the moonlight as well, and often with the sun, placing the crystals in that energy, it's a lot about an activating of the energy of the crystal. While moonlight, especially around the full moon, it's often associated with more of a calming, softer reset energy. So keeping in mind that some crystals don't want to be in the sunlight and some crystals don't want to be in the moonlight. Now, a couple of crystals that don't like being in sunlight for prolonged periods of time are things like amethyst and rose quartz. Now, whatever crystal you've got, you can do your research as to what is the best method of cleansing, clearing, maybe activating the crystal. Always recommend you research that specific crystal for specific cleansing methods if you don't have a very clear communication with the crystal and stone yet. Now, another method, probably one of the safest methods, again, it's not going to deteriorate the foundation of the stone, and it also doesn't even necessarily require you to hold the stone, and that is through the use of sound. So you can use various instruments to do that. Could be chimes, could be flutes, crystal bowls, Tibetan bowls, using the voice as well. And the vibrations can help shift, change, and clear the crystal as well. And it's a great way to cleanse multiple stones at once if they all would like that to be done to them. Another method is placing it either on or near other stones. Now, this one that I'm holding is selenite, and it's probably the most common form of crystal to cleanse and clear other stones. Clear quartz is another one as well. And it doesn't require a lot of effort to cleanse and clear crystal with something like selenite. And the last one I want to mention, now there are many others that I probably have not mentioned. This will be the last one for us today, is intention. So simply holding your crystal and focusing your consciousness to the crystal and having that intention of cleansing and clearing it can also be a very powerful method. If that's the way in which your stone would like you to cleanse and clear it, then learn how to do this. You know, for many people, it's often the foundation that supports all the other techniques that we would use the crystals and stones for. So yes, some crystals will respond better to some cleansing methods than others. One day it might want to be cleansed in one way, another day it might want to be cleansed in a different way. So building that relationship with the mineral kingdom can be really important. As I've said many times before, you don't even actually have to physically obtain crystals and stones to work with them. You can also work with them using visualization and or art. That could be painting, drawing, photography. And that way you can also support another in their artistry and not necessarily have to encourage the extraction of these minerals out of the ground as well. And visualization, well, that doesn't usually cost you anything other than time and intention of creating the space to be with that energy. So, and the other great thing is that you don't necessarily physically have the stone. You probably find you won't need to do as much cleansing and activating with it and still be able to work with it. So yes, at the end of the day, when it comes to cleansing, clearing, activating your stones, it's going to vary a lot. It's going to depend on who you are, where you are at, what's the crystal at, what's it been doing, and obviously what's safe for your crystal as well. It doesn't have to be complicated. Even a simple, consistent practice can make your crystals feel a lot more intentional and a lot more cared for and a lot more powerful. And if you've got any questions, leave that in the comment section below. You can find us on other various social media platforms. Links in the description box below. And we'll see you again soon.